Hyatt Regency San Francisco. This is Jeff Beaver. He's actually the CEO of Zazzle.
Well, co-founder.
Oh, like me. I've been there before.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur, a tech entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me your t-shirt, by the way.
Check it out.
Zazzle
Beta Breakers.
Cool.
People have to say Zazzle Beta Breakers. That's key now. Oh, check out the best part, though.
Okay, cool.
Running Man?
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, get the Running Man in back. Hey, Mike, you got one of those in back here? They got the Zazzle people have all the Running Man people, running somebody. I don't know if it's a man or a woman.
Check out Melanie. So we got
Melanie, how are you doing?
Nike running gear.
Hey,
I left my pink at home.
Oh, I like that.
Saving it for race day.
Thank you.
That's cool. See, I got that right light. Oh, perfect. Excellent. Nice.
Good product placement right there.
So you guys are involved for 5 years.
Well, 2.
Okay.
Right now, contractually.
Okay.
But
The mayor wants you for 5.
Who knows? We're excited about it. We think it's going to be awesome. So it could be a lot longer.
And Mike, they talked to me about making this an entire week.
Right.
As opposed to just the day, right?
Yeah, so, I think what's really touching about this tradition is that it was created after the 1906 earthquake to really reinvigorate the city and to help the community get back to its roots and kind of celebrate and kind of rejuvenate the community. So, being the centennial year, we thought what better way to kind of get back to the roots, the tradition of this race, and not just have it be about Sunday, but the entire week, and supporting local businesses that want to really commemorate and celebrate this tradition.
And for my viewers, tell them about Zazzle.
Zazzle is the leading platform for custom products. So basically, anything that you could ever imagine making or customizing, Zazzle is there to enable.
T-shirts, hats.
Right now there's about 50 product categories spanning from footwear, shoes, to apparel, hard goods like skateboards, electronics cases, tons of stuff. There's actually about 4,000 individual different types of SKUs you can change and customize, which is pretty cool. And that's rapidly expanding. So tons of products. We have an online community of millions of people, and the fascinating thing about the marketplace and kind of the growth is we have about 150,000 new products customized and published every single day. It kind of, it's hard to think about that many products that people would design, but that's kind of how fast this is growing as an ecosystem.
And Zazzle.com. How'd you come up with the name?
Zazzle.com, yes. Well, even years ago, all the main kind of words in the dictionary were taken. So we actually found this in an urban dictionary.
That was really close to zinning.
Hey, there you go. The Z's, yeah. It's actually, at least in this urban dictionary, which is, whatever in terms of being credible, is derivative of the word pizzazz, to zazz. So it was kind of described as, hey, to embellish, to make it cool, to kind of make sexy, actually. And so we ran with it,
Yeah, nice. Hey, man, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out today. It is my pleasure to introduce Angela Feng, who is the race director of Beta Breakers. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. This year marks the 100th running of Beta Breakers. On Sunday, we'll be celebrating this historic event with 55,000 registered runners. I'd like to share with you 3 key elements that we think about when we think of Beta Breakers: the history, the community, and our athletes. The first race was run on January 1st, 1912, as the city was in the midst of rebuilding from the devastation of the 1906 earthquake. The race was conceived by a sports editor of a newspaper, The Bulletin. His name was Hillard Baggerly, and I'm quite certain that he would never could have imagined that his New Year's Day race would become one of the world's largest, oldest, and certainly unique races in the world. This past February, we welcomed a very special member of the Beta Breakers family. Bob Burnett, whose grandfather was the winner of that very first race, joined us at a celebratory handoff of the original trophy from that first race. In addition to the trophy, he shared with us a scrapbook that had been put together by his grandmother. The trophy and the scrapbook are on display at our Greater Body Expo in a historical retrospective that I encourage you all to go and see. This year, Bob Burnett and his nephew Randy and other family members will be running in honor of their grandfather. We appreciate their generosity in sharing this incredible piece of history, and also for being part of this really unimaginable event on Sunday. The trophy most recently was on display at Gump's, another San Francisco icon. We have several other notable families that will be joining us on Sunday. First, the descendants of Ed Preston, who won the race in 1938, 39, and 1940, will be in attendance. And an interesting fact about Ed is that he encouraged his girlfriend at the time to run the race, dressed as a man. So she was the first woman who ran in Beta Breakers.
All right.
And then we have the family of Jim Spider Heron. And if you see the photo of him at the retrospective, you'll understand where the name Spider came from. Winner of the 1942 race. His family will also be running on Sunday in his memory. And then we have the great Marietta Boitano Blanchard. At the young age of 10, she won Beta Breakers in 1974 and went on to win in 75 and 76. The Heron family and Marietta have both loaned us memorabilia from their experiences and their family's experiences, which are also on display. Beta Breakers has a long-standing history of supporting local charities. This year, we're honored to be working with several organizations, Breathe California, who for the past several years have provided us volunteers for our water stops, which is a critical part of race logistics. This past year, we've added another community partner, the Ella Hill Hutch Community Center, who is also providing volunteers for us on race day. We are incredibly happy to have these two organizations that work with us over the course of the year. I want to introduce you to someone very special, Callan Warner. Callan Warner is the top pledge fundraiser for Breathe California. Callan is 12 years old, and as part of the reward for his pledge gathering, he is going to be treated as an elite athlete this weekend. And I think that's a pretty special. Let me just say that we're really impressed with his commitment and grateful that our community has individuals such as him who support so many wonderful organizations. There are many individuals and other organizations who use Beta Breakers as a platform to raise funds for many wonderful causes. This year, our 2010 Beta Breakers champion, Lyneth Chupkaruri, will be running on behalf of the Raja Academy. The Raja Academy is one of the first entirely free secondary schools for girls in East Africa. The Daraja team will consist of 77 individuals from across the Bay Area who will be running the race to raise funds for this wonderful school that was established by Jason and Jenny Doherty. And now, the athletes. Through the decades, this race has fielded an incredible array of talent. And Sunday's field, as you can see, will be no exception. We have seen Olympic, national, and world champions step to the line at Beta Breakers. Racing nobility such as Joan Benoit Samuelson, the late great Greta Weitz, Kenny Moore, Arturo Barrios, Catherine N. Deriba, Rod Dixon, Craig Virgin, Ed Eystone, the list goes on. We are proud of the role that Beta Breakers has played in our sport. Now, before I turn you over to what you really are here for, which is the introduction to our athletes, I'd like to thank our sponsors. This year we have a new title sponsor, Zazzle, a Bay Area company that will be with us for the 2011 and 2012 race, and we hope that they have a wonderful experience. Sit On It Seating, which is the official seating company of the Centennial Running and provider of the chairs that the athletes are sitting on. We have Virgin America, Volkswagen, Big Five Sporting Goods, Barefoot Wine and Bubbly, Power Balance, T-Mobile, Michelob Ultra, Crown 4 News, the San Francisco Examiner, who's been a supporter of this race for over 45 years, KGO News Talk, a supporter of the race for over 20 years, and KSFO. And last but not least, our gracious host here today, the Hyatt Hotel.
Thank you, Angela. And before we introduce the special elite athletes who we're very honored to have here today, I have a presentation on behalf of the Roadrunners Club of America. For those of you who know me, I represent lots of wonderful organizations. Today I'm honored to be able to be here on behalf of Roadrunners Club of America and in honor of 100 years of excellence, dedication to runners in the community of San Francisco, and pure zaniness. Beta Breakers is receiving this award from the Roadrunners Club of America, and we wish you much success, and we wish all of the runners and the participants in this race much success. So congratulations and enjoy.
All right, shall we get to it, gentlemen?
Let's go.
All right, so I'd like to introduce you to Vern Glenn, Cron 4, and Josh Muxon, our elite athlete coordinator.
Vern needs a little more theatrics to get to his podium than I do. We certainly appreciate Vern coming back. We've had the pleasure of doing the athlete introduction now.
Now, might I add, nice riser here. You know, nobody has to tell me to stand up.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a great view.
That's right. So, Vern and I are very pleased to introduce this year's field of world-class elite runners. We welcome a diverse and talented group of athletes looking to capture not only the title of Beta Breakers champion, but to grab the $25,000 Battle of the Breakers bonus, which is awarded to the first athlete, male or female, to cross the finish line. The women will start 4 minutes and 36 seconds in front of the men, which is the actual time between the course records. Additionally, for the first of each gender to crest Hayes Street Hill, $5,000 will be awarded. Not such a bad payday. All told, one of these athletes could win $40,000 in bonus and prize money. You guys okay with that? However, of course, the road to victory will be tough. Last year's Battle of the Breakers winner, Lineth Chepkarui, is back to defend her title and improve upon the course record and world best she set in 2010. Joining Lineth will be athletes from across the globe and throughout the United States. Since the women get to start first on Sunday, today we'll start with the fellas. First, I'd like to welcome to the field a man whom I consider the greatest American distance runner of his generation. This man has captured 20 U.S. national titles, held the American record at 10,000 meters, is the Olympic trials record holder at 10,000 meters, and is no stranger to making history. In 2009, he won the New York City Marathon, becoming the first American male to do so since 1982. However, even more impressive, in 2004, he became the first American male to medal at the Olympic Games when he captured silver in Athens at the marathon. That feat was last done in 1976. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the incomparable Meb Keflezighi. However, Meb, despite your accomplishments, you won't be alone at the front of the pack this year. I'd like to welcome Dureba Murga of Ethiopia. Dureba has won 2 half marathons in 2011 and in 2009 was the Boston Marathon champion. He finished 3rd in Boston in 2010 and is looking to use the strength he displayed when he set the 15K world record to become the first non-Kenyan winner in nearly 2 decades. Ladies and gentlemen, Dureba Murga. Not to be outdone, we have a very strong Kenyan contingent here this weekend, led by 4th place finisher from 2004, Tesfaye Sendeku.
Nice pronunciation, by the way. Just rolled right off the tongue.
We're buddies. We go back a long time. Tesfaye has 2 top 10 finishes in 2011 and lives and trains in nearby Antioch. So his knowledge of the course and his experience from last year certainly should be a benefit on race day. Vern?
My turn. All right. Also representing Kenya are 2 exciting young athletes. 21-year-old Alan Caprona, who's on the back row. Wave in. Thank you. And 22-year-old Lonnie Kiplagat. Alan has finished 2nd in 5 consecutive major U.S. road races in 2010, 2011, including the recent Lilac Bloomsday 12K in Spokane, Washington. Alan owns a crisp 27:42 personal best for 10K on the roads. Lonnie, fresh from a 4th place finish at the Crescent City Classic and 6th at Bloomsday, will use his great cross-country instincts, is that right? To remain in contention until the Great Highway. Then we have Barakan Ridwan Harufi, a veteran of this racing. He'll be looking to end the Kenyan dominance at the Beta Breakers. Ridwan has the most Beta Breakers of any man in the field. He's run the most, more than anybody, and came tantalizing close to victory in 2008 by finishing 2nd in a sprint finish. I remember that well. Harufi also became the first non-Kenyan winner of the Indianapolis 500 mini marathon in 15 years this month. He was also 3rd in the 2011 Cherry Blossom 10 miler. Josh, back to you.
Nice work, Vern. A group of talented athletes join Meb in the American contingent. One of them, right here to my left, is UC Berkeley grad Balota Azram. Balota is a 2000 Olympian and owns one of the fastest 5,000 meter times ever recorded by an American, 13:15. Balota is also a founding member of the Bay Area Track Club, whose mission is to support and enhance running throughout the Bay Area. So Balota, thank you very much for your efforts.
Go Bears.
Hailing from Auburn, California, please welcome Brad Poor. Brad is the Run Rockland 12K champ and has finished 3rd this year at the Clarksburg Half Marathon. He was 14th in Beta Breakers in 2010. Vern, I believe you have the next set of athletes.
Yes, I do. I have Pat Rizzo from Colorado, very close to me here. Pat is looking to capitalize on his great 2010 season where he finished 3rd at the prestigious Hockey 30K in Japan and 2nd in the Rock and Roll Seattle Half Marathon. Pat also finished 13th in the Chicago Marathon in 2010 and is making his first Beta Breakers race. Wow. Also making his Beta Breakers debut is Pat's training partner, Jason Hartman. Jason finished 20th in February's U.S. National XC meet and in 2010 was 8th at the Chicago Marathon. Jason's marathon personal best places him in the top 10 for American marathon times since 2005. We also have two San Franciscans running in the men's elite field for the Centennial event. Joshua Horlet has completed his eligibility as a USF Don. He takes to the streets a vast array of cross-country experience as well as a history of running in an elite centipede to medal in the marathon since 1976 when he earned silver. Ladies,
Well, I think also what
I
we
just went off
need
script.
Vern, you're an ad-libbing genius.
It's a live show, we just keep on going.
Also from San Francisco, Neil McDonough, ladies and gentlemen. Neil went to high school at St. Ignatius and enjoyed a great college career before relocating to Florida, where he captured the Jacksonville Half Marathon title and the First Light Half Marathon title in 2010. Also in 2010, he was the USATF Florida Long Distance Runner of the Year and recently finished in the top 30 at the U.S. National 15K Championships. Welcome home, Neil. And now with that, I believe it's time to talk about the ladies. Over the course of 2010, our defending champion had a season very few athletes have ever approached. In the span of 2 weeks, Linus Chepkarui celebrated a world's best over 12K at Bloomsday, only to better her mark days later right here in the streets of San Francisco. Her time of 38:07 not only set our course record by 15 seconds, but established the fastest women's 12K ever run in history. And it netted her... That performance netted Linus her second Beta Breakers title and first Battle to the Breakers win. In 2011, Linus grabbed her second team gold at the IAAF World Cross Country Championships, where she finished 8th overall. She also has won the Boston Athletic Association 5K and finished 4th at the Peyton Jordan 10,000 meters at Stanford University, setting a personal best of 31:24 over 10 kilometers. Linus is not only a tremendous athlete, but also a wonderful humanitarian. As we mentioned before, she'll be running for the Bay Area nonprofit, the Car Educational Foundation, which will benefit the Daraja Academy in Kenya to enhance girls' education using Beta Breakers as a platform for social change. Again, ladies and gentlemen, your defending champion, Linus Chepkarui. However, just like some of our favorite men athletes, Linus' path to a third Beta Breakers title will not be an easy one, as many of the women in the field have equally outstanding resumes. The country of Ethiopia is represented by last year's third place finisher here in San Francisco, Mamitu Daska. Mamitu won the Houston Marathon in 2011 and the Dubai Marathon in 2010. She spent last season chasing Linus without success, but she arrived directly from Addis Ababa specifically to lay claim to the Beta Breakers title. With her strength at the marathon coupled with a stellar 10,000 meter personal best of 31:36, Mamitu plans to make the 100th Beta Breakers her biggest win of the year. Thank you very much for joining us.
Kenyan fans will also be rooting for last year's fourth place finisher, Jalaya Tenaga. Jalaya has been a consistent threat each time she has towed the start line. And she won the Washington, D.C.'s famed Cherry Blossom 10 Mile, was third at Bloomsday, and finished fourth at the Crescent City Classic. Joining Jalaya is fellow Kenyan Jane Kibi. Jane captured her third consecutive Carlsbad Half Marathon Championship. She was sixth at the 2010 Beta Breakers. Several Bay Area athletes will also play a role, I should say, in determining this year's Beta Breakers champion. Fresh off a 9th place finish at the uber competitive Carlsbad 5000, Annie Bersagle. Now, Annie Bersagle is not here. She is a law student at Stanford. She had to go to class. I will tell you this. I was in on an interview with her before the press conference. Very charming and looks amazingly like Anne Hathaway, the actress. Something to look for. Annie is no stranger to big wins, having captured the 2006 U.S. National Half Marathon crown and was the 2009 Norwegian 10,000 meter champion. and he continues to impress in the classroom. As I said before, a second-year law student. In fact, she runs to class and runs home from class, literally. San Francisco is represented by Caitlin Craig. Caitlin will make her Beta Breakers debut in her first season as a professional runner. This year, the UC Davis grad finished 11th at the Bay Area Cross Country Meet. Caitlin capped her success at the college level with a runner-up finish at the Big West Conference, 5,000 meters. And you're a UC grad, I imagine you didn't train by going to the Murder Burger for late night nosh. I didn't think so. We also like to welcome 2 athletes from Marin County. Valerie Young enters the race as the most dominant Masters runner in the Bay Area.
And Valerie unfortunately could not be with us today, but she sends her regards, Vern.
I can just feel her presence.
Absolutely.
In this room. I really can. This year, Valerie was the second master at the Emerald Nuts Across the Bay 12K and first master at the John Frank 10 Mile. And in 2010, Valerie captured the Pacific Association USA TF Cross Country Grand Prix title. Joining Valerie from the North Bay is my Mill Valley neighbor, Eo Wang. Stand up, Eo. Go ahead. Stand up. Okay. She says it's her first ever press conference. Is that right? All right. Well. Eo has won the Zippy K 5K and the Kaiser Hat Marathon this year while finishing second in Napa Valley Marathon in 2011. So quite a year so far. Eo has won 6 cross-country races in the fall of 2010, paving the way to her strong 2011 spring. Josh.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2011 Beta Breakers women's field. And before we head to what is arguably my favorite part of the weekend, lunch, we'd like to open up the floor to questions today. So if any members of the media or the audience have some questions for the athletes, please go ahead and raise your hand and we'll provide them with the microphone. Zenny.
Lyneth, what's the key to running the Beta Breakers? What's your secret?
First, I should thank the race organizer for inviting me back to this race again, and the sponsors of this race, the Breast and the elite coordinator for the hospitality, and my fellow athletes and everyone who is in this room for the warm welcome. The secret of winning this is just hard training and something like tactics. I think
That's yeah.
Thank you.
Zenny's trying to get all the secrets out.
Oh, the Hay Street Hill specifically. How is the Hay Street Hill? Do you just power through it?
Hay Street Hill is quite challenging, and it depends on one's effort. Everyone trains hard, but it depends on that day when you wake up, when your body is good, then you're good to go.
But you said practice is, unlike Allen Iverson, practice is perfect, right?
Yeah, practicing is very important, but at times you wake up when your body is not responding to the certain cause. So it's a matter of your body responding on that day, then you're good to go.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Also for Lynette, it could rain this Sunday. How does that affect you as a runner? And if anyone else would like to answer that as well, how does that affect you as a runner? How do you strategize it?
So the question was, how does the rain affect any sort of strategy for the event?
Yeah, it affects, rain affects a lot. It's like the road might be slippery, so at times it's so hard to run on a slippery ground.
And one question, do you feel like you're in record-breaking shape?
At times you can't tell, but when you wake up that morning, it's at times you can tell, but I'm still waiting for Sunday morning to see that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
For Mamuto, how in the world are you going to beat Lyneth? You do.
Do you have a strategy for beating Lyneth? Not at this point. I think we might direct that question to anyone in the field, in the women's field. Is there anyone have a strategy they'd like to talk about for beating Lynette?
Practice.
Well, I have a second question for Lynette, and I asked you earlier if it become routine to win. Seriously, what are you doing? What have you done the last year to really keep your edge?
It's just training and being focused, and that's all.
I'm so sorry. Anybody else? I have a question for Beth.
Sure.
Why did you decide to do this race, and how is this different from the longer distances?
Well, as you know, I'm more of a marathon specialist, and I do a spring marathon. But this year I didn't, and it kind of fits in the schedule. But it's not often that you run to the 100th anniversary of a race, and I don't want to be a part of it. Thank you to Beta Breakers and their committee for allowing me to have this opportunity. And obviously, they have assembled a great field, and it's going to be challenging. The course is challenging. It's going to be fun, but Sunday comes, we all have to compete, and it's going to be ready for everybody. And I just recommend that everybody wear their hat to be able to keep your eyes relaxed so your body can be relaxed. But it's very exciting to be part of this unique event.
I have a question for you, Matt, again. So what time are you shooting for? Are you not thinking about that yet?
I'm all thinking is usually come to the starting line, run to win, get the best out of myself. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a great field and compete. And if you compete, the time will come. And, San Francisco is known for the hills, so time is irrelevant. You just got to go compete against the competitors.
Some more questions?
I have a general question for the runners. So how much do you guys run and gals every week? How many miles? How many times? That kind of thing.
Or do you run every day?
Do we run every day? Yes, we do. We do run twice a day. For me personally, is Monday to Saturday, twice a day. So I average about, when I'm healthy and everything's going well at about 120 miles a week. And with 3 days, been very intense. My repeats on Tuesdays or longer, and Friday tempos, and Sunday my long runs. That could include anywhere from 20 to 28, depends what I'm getting ready for.
I didn't even drive that much in a week.
Me neither.
There's some more questions? Go ahead.
Just a general question for anybody who'd like to answer. This is the 100th. This is going to be a big deal. A lot of people are going to come to watch this race. A lot of crazy people are going to come watch this race. How do you feel, and how do you strategize it? How do you keep focused with all of that craziness around you?
Does anybody want to answer that question? Meb, you got the microphone.
Well, I heard stories about the Beta Breaker races, and this is my first time, and I can't wait to experience it. And how I'm going to react to it, I'll let you know post run. But I heard that it's a unique experience, and I have a lot of people who get different costumes. People ask me, so what costume I'm going to wear? Well, I want to be efficient on Sunday, so I'm not going to wear any costume, but I heard about the different costumes, so I'm just excited to be part of it. And as many of those fellow athletes are here also, but there's...
I'm so excited because I'm running for the Daracha Academy.
And I actually have a question for Neil. You thought you were going to sneak away way over there in the corner by Vern. He can't protect you anymore. Neil, you grew up here in San Francisco, out in the Sunset. You've obviously seen the evolution of the race, and I believe you mentioned this is the first time you're going to run the event as an elite athlete. Tell us what it means to be back here in San Francisco to experience the Centennial event.
Well, I appreciate getting the opportunity to run the race this year, Josh, and definitely say the Beta Breakers has been a big highlight marquee event, whether as a spectator or just being part of the running community in San Francisco. And I always was either camped out on the Great Highway, watching the elite runners come by ever since I was a little kid. And I never really imagined I'd be up in that front group or being a part of the elite experience. And I've continued running since high school, college, and afterwards. And I'm really excited to get that opportunity And I'm excited for the weather too because I grew up with this. So sorry everyone else got the sunny Florida weather that I usually deal with, but I'm looking forward to fog and drizzle.
Thanks, Neil. Yes?
I have a question for Callan. Hi, Callan. It's two parts. What was your strategy for being the highest fundraiser? And have you considered a career in sponsorship or advertising?
Okay, you got it?
Well, my strategy was, I just emailed everybody the link to my page, and I told my aunts and my dad, and they told their people at their work, and that's basically my strategy for that. And I don't know about the advertising.
Networking extraordinaire. Do we have any more elite athlete questions? Yes.
I just would like to hear from the two ladies in the back. Their first Beta Breakers race, and also this is that 100. What are their emotions participating in among these great elite runners?
Well, I'm still kind of in shock that I'm sitting up here. This is my first Beta Breakers, and I want to thank Josh and the whole race committee for giving us the opportunity to rub shoulders with all these great runners. We'll see them for about 5 seconds on Sunday, and then I'm really looking forward to seeing the course and seeing all the crazy spectators. A lot of my friends didn't even know that there was an actual racing portion to Beta Breakers. They're never sober for this event, so hopefully some of them might be out on the course to cheer us on, but I doubt it. So yeah, I'm just very excited, very much looking forward to Sunday, and I like running in the drizzle, so I'm also looking forward to the weather.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to the race this weekend. Being a recent San Francisco transplant from Davis, I've been here about 8 months now, and I live 2 blocks from Golden Gate Park. So I run the course every day, and I'm really looking forward to running it in a race environment. I think the excitement and the energy behind the 100th anniversary is just going to be great for all of us. Build off that energy, and there's going to be so many people out there, more people than the population of Davis. So I'm really looking forward to it, and thanks, Josh, for the opportunity.
My pleasure. And we have time for one more question.
I will run home afterward. Yes.
How did Zazzle decide to put so much resources into this event?
Well, I think I can't necessarily speak for Zazzle, but if you'd like, there's some Zazzle representatives that are available to speak after the elites. Any other questions for the elites?
Elite question for
Sure.
Bolota. So the 13:15 is pretty fast. How do you compare running your 5K versus a 12K in pacing yourself?
Well, every race I run, I pretty much just go out as fast as I can and try to hold on. And this race is probably, the strategy probably won't work on this race since the first half of the race is a hill, But nevertheless, I'm just going to go out with the leaders and see, what kind of pace they're keeping, and just hang on, try to kind of, because the 5K pace is so much faster than this pace, you just kind of rely on that and take confidence in the fact that you have a little bit more speed going into this race than most people. But strength is key in this kind of race, so these guys are tough guys. I mean, they can handle any pace you throw at them. So, and this being my hometown and all that, being the 100th year, I couldn't pass it up. I just had to line up anyway, so just going out there to have a good time.
That's awesome. So on the hill, would you necessarily, would you try to draft, or would you slow down just a little bit so you can pick up the pace on the way down?
I mean, you try to pick 1 or 2 guys to draft off of most of the time, but I'm mostly a leader, so guys are probably going to be drafting off of me. But there is that $5,000 on top of the hill, so it's going to be a lot of tactics going on early on, which is really exciting.
Thanks, mate. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, I'd like to turn the microphone back to Angela Fang. But before we do that, I believe they deserve one more round of applause for 2011 Beta Breakers Elite Field.
Thank you, Josh. I think we can all agree that he's done a wonderful job of building this elite field for this 100th running of Beta Breakers. For any of you who would like to interview afterwards, please see Stephanie or Josh. I want to remind you that we have a Greater Body Expo going on at the West Concourse. It's located at 8th and Brannan. That's where our wonderful historical retrospective is on display, as well as a lot of fun and interesting vendors. Zazzle has an unbelievable setup in the middle of Expo. It's going to be really fun. And then the last thing is I'd like to invite you all to lunch out in the atrium. And thank you all for coming. This is a special year for all of us, and the staff that works on this race works year-round. Many people don't realize that it does take a full year to plan, and this year was definitely no exception. We worked very closely with the city of San Francisco and the neighborhoods to make sure that we're going to have a fun and safe and memorable event on Sunday. And I'd like to recognize George Ridgely, who was our race producer. George and I are like an old married couple. We've been working together for probably 10 years now and can finish each other's sentences. But he's done a wonderful job putting together the plans for this year's race. When you're out on course, make sure you look at the signage and some of the fencing that will be decorated with also images from the 100 years of this race. I'd like to thank Josh Muxon, who's been with us for, what, 8 years, 9 years, seems like forever. He's just done a wonderful job.
I had hair at the beginning.
Oh, that's right, that's right. And then Katie Hare, our expo producer, who's not with us today. She's obviously quite tied up. But I'd like to just recognize the staff for the wonderful work they do. And thank you all for coming.
Hey, Dave, Jason Dory of Daraja.
Right.
Hey, tell my viewers about Daraja.
Okay.
What you guys are up to?
Daraja Academy is a school with 77 Kenyan girls of poverty who essentially would not be in school right now. The high school did not exist. We're so grateful that an incredible runner like Lyneth Chepkuri would leverage her star status to run for these girls. The moment that the race starts here, 77 girls at Daraja Academy are also going to be starting their race, and they're going to run the exact same amount of miles that these ladies do because they are in essence fundraising for themselves as well. So it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's a school we'd invite everyone to come visit. We're not going anywhere. We're just growing.
Website?
We are www.daraja-academy.org.
Hey, thanks so much.
Check it out.
Okay, point to her. She's right over here, right? There she is.
There she is.
Cool.
There's Lynette.
All right, cool. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, ladies. Thank you. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cal Bear Balota Azmaron, who's actually planning to win this whole thing, right?
That's right. always go for the win, you know?
Hey, how did being at Cal prepare you for the Beta Breakers?
I think it just kind of taught me to improvise a lot, you know, to just kind of make the most of what you have, you know, just make lemonade basically, you know, because we don't have much in terms of, you know, facilities and money and things like that. It's like Stanford across the bay has everything, you know, it gets you ready for things like this, but on the other hand, I mean, Cal being kind of limited in those things makes, if you survive it, you become ready to do anything, you know.
And also, what did you major in at Cal?
I was an African American Studies major, and then I did education in graduate school. So,
you know, they're talking about cutting the budget by chance. What do you think about the budget being impacted for ethnic studies and African American studies?
well, I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, I like the ethnic study departments, but me myself personally, I wish I didn't really major in one of those fields. I kind of would like to major in a skill, you know. Not that like majoring in those things doesn't give you a skill, you know. You learn it's just as good as political science, economics, or any other like humanities and all. But I think the department has to take it upon themselves, just like they built it. You know, they have to take it upon themselves to maintain it too. You know, and you have to do that by I don't know what it is, producing. You know, I don't know how it is in the academic world, but you got to publish, you got to do this, you got to. I just.
But it's interesting you said that. So why did you? Because someone watching would say, why did you major in it in the first place?
You know, my intention initially was to major in biology, but I went to McAteer High School, probably the worst high school in the country. I don't know. I mean, it's shut down now. So I went to one of the best schools in the country in biology and can survive. You know, and I was a runner, so I just kind of took on a major that it's not easy. African American studies is not easy, but it was just something that I can keep up with because the students that go there are really cream of the crop. So it allowed me to kind of take my time to develop the skills.
Back to the Beta Breakers. You ran it before, right?
I ran it last year as a centipede. Yeah. And then I ran it about 3 years ago just as an individual.
What's the key to taking the Hayes Street Hill?
No one knows, because the thing is, every person that goes for it doesn't get it. Yeah, but the leader or the guy that gets second place always gets it.
That's true. You're right about that.
I think it's like just you have to be extremely fit and ready and road race sharp because I'm track. A lot of guys like me will come here and be like, "Oh, I'm in track shape. I'm so fast." Track fitness doesn't do it.
Right?
Track fitness is totally different from road race fitness. You know? Yeah, I mean the rhythm. Track is flat. You get a rhythm going, you keep it. You can't get a rhythm on this. I mean, there's like there's bumps on the road. There's ups and downs and turns. Once your rhythm is thrown off, your track fitness goes out. Yeah. Track guys are not. That's why track guys can't. It doesn't translate over immediately into the road. Eventually, it does.
How often do you run a week?
Well, you mean I run every day, twice a day, just like everybody else. Yeah, I've run 120 before, but it doesn't work for me. That's the marathoners. I'm happy with 95, 85.
I'm happy with just one.
Hey, man, I'll be there one day. I'll be there.
Hey, man, go Bears.
All right, man, yeah.
Wow. This is really neat. You haven't drank out of it, have you?
Not lately.
Sunday night. It's Sunday night? Oh, look at this. That's really cool. First prize.
Here's his name.
Wow. Robert. Let's see if that's the right angle. Wow. Is it heavy?
Feel it yourself.
I'll try.
Kind of heavy.
Oh, it's actually quite light to me.
Well, my son's got to carry it, not me.
Okay. So someone's going to carry this entire race? Like that?
No, he's going to carry the backpack on his back, and then my brother's going to carry the first one.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you know this, right? Yeah, okay.
Got enough? You want some more?
This is great. Thank you.
Okay.
The Beta Breakers, we got out lunch. Look at this. Got Mario's buffet, Nacho's buffet over there, all this stuff. Wow, cool. This man was with me actually on the Beta Breakers truck 2 years ago, and we're going to be, again, this is Rick Ridley, the Director of Public Affairs for Big Five Sporting Goods.
Yes, sir.
Rick, how you doing?
Couldn't be better. Exciting weekend in San Francisco.
Tell my viewers about Big Five's involvement with the 100th Beta Breakers.
We've been sponsoring the Beta Breakers now. This is our 4th year. We try to increase each year a little bit more exposure. I'm proud to say that we're this year's presenting sponsor for the Greater Body Expo. We've got a booth down there. We're having a giveaway of a commemorative Beta Breakers wristband.
Oh, neat.
Right here.
Oh, I want one.
and the good thing about it is a giveaway, but take advantage of it, because on the inside, you have 10% off your purchase at Big Five Sporting Goods, including sale merchandise. We're excited about it. And we're there with Power Bars and all the other wonderful sponsors and having a good time.
How did Big Five come to be a sponsor for the Beta Breakers?
Decided we thought it would be a good fit. AEG, who owns the property, had mentioned it to us, and it looked good. And we felt at the time that kind of seeing that it was changing, getting more back to a race, and thought it would complement our brand well.
And so now, how about Tell my viewers where Big 5 is, where they can go.
Excuse me?
Tell my viewers where Big 5 is, where they can go.
Well, locally here, we've got a store on Sloat Boulevard, we've got a store in Daly City, we've got 398 stores in 12 western states, so you can find us.
And your website.
You better believe it. Big5sportinggoods.com, we've got a store locator, and I appreciate it.
We'll see you on the press club, right?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Eddie. Thank you.